your host, MCS1.
Welcome to another exciting edition of the MCS1 show. I am MCS1, and today I have two very special guests with me. I have my producer, Merlin, and our friend, Cameron. What's up, fellas?
Not much.
Hey there.
So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than we normally do. We're starting a new segment called
At the Movies.
Another thing that we will be having with this is we're going to go through movie reviews and for movies that we have seen. And just to clarify right now,
Warning, minor spoilers.
you have been warned, and we'll put this as a tag for every episode. We're trying not to have many spoilers, but some might slip out within our discussion. Anyways, let's talk about what we're doing with these movie reviews. So about 2 years ago, summer of 2014, Merlin and I, we saw, how many movies did we see in a row?
I believe it was 14 or 15.
14 or 15 movies in a row all summer. And we just wanted to keep the streak going. We even saw movies we hated and we knew were going to be bad.
Exactly.
That we did not like. Some of which were The Drop. I did not like The Drop.
I did not either.
Too slow. Casey Walker can hate us for this, but whatever. Casey can hate us all he wants for that. And then Lucy. Lucy was a really bad movie.
It was. They didn't white Scarlett Johansson's wallpaper.
Yeah, and I'm not, as Casey would say, a ScarJo fan. And he would also say, leave ScarJo alone. So, I'm not a ScarJo fan. Sorry, people. Which we're going to have fun discussing in our next episode of At the Movies. When we discuss Captain America, Civil War.
America.
And so... yeah, so we saw 15 movies in a row, and it was awesome. And then last year, we just didn't do it. I don't know why.
Life.
Reasons.
I love life.
Yeah. And so this year, we started doing it again. And so we started a little while ago, and we're going to try to review 2, maybe 3, depending on the time, movies each time we record for At the Movies segment. So today... we're going to talk about the first 2 movies we saw this summer, and they both happen to be animal themed.
Correct, yes.
Yep.
So, we have on our docket today, we have the Jungle Book remake,
Yes.
Live action one.
the live action CGI one, and Zootopia
By Disney.
by Disney.
It's Disney Day.
Yes, Disney Day. Disney, yes. They're going to sue us for using that name.
Probably.
So, let's talk about the Jungle Book. And first let's just get out first honest impressions. Well, let's do some film background. So I studied film during my undergrad for quite a long time, a couple of years. It was my major. I ended up switching out of it though and going into my major is digital media project management. That's what my degree is in. But for a while it was digital media cinema studies, basically the film track at the university I went to, which I like to keep nameless because I'm not a fan of it at all in the slightest. But so I studied cinema there for the course of it was 2.5 years, and it was kind of fun. I was rather frustrated with the cinema program, hence why I switched. So I'm more of technical with film, and when I see things that no one else tends to see. Like plot, I see bad edits and stuff like that. And so I see things differently. Since I've been out of film for a while, I've tracked out of that slowly, so I'm able to enjoy movies again a lot more. But
So you're no longer that guy.
I'm no longer that, well, that guy is much. I'm still that guy. But, yeah, so that's where I come from as far as a film background for this. Merlin or Cameron, you guys want to say next what your expertise or non-expertise is?
No,
with
I
this?
mean, I agree. And since you and I have been friends for so many years now, that I think when you and I go to movies, when we watch TV shows or anything we see, you've talked to me or it's this is what I've noticed. And since you're you've given your pointers on what your views have been. I've also like watched movies like when we haven't been hanging out or we haven't gone to movies together, and I've noticed those things as well. I'm like, oh wow, he was like so wise. Like I noticed it, and I find myself actually now, since like I've always loved the movies when growing up as a child with my family. That was one of the biggest things we always do, is to go as movies as a family, and I've just always loved them. But at the same time, as I've grown older and hanging out with you or hanging out with other people, it's like, oh, why didn't you like this and why didn't you? Because I'm open minded. And I apply that to when I go see movies, and I'm like, it was good, but there was this going on. Like, I've actually looked at actors. Did the actor really fit the role? Did the actor deliver, kind of thing?
That's cool. Cameron, or Cam, what about you?
Well, I don't have any of the film school background that you do, Mark, but
well, not many people do.
but over the past few years, I've been getting more into looking at movies as more of a technical standpoint. I mean, I enjoy. I don't know. I kind of like looking at the little things, just little details in either the shade, of the acting, or the film, like what's the word I'm looking for? The layout of the shots that they give us, and
so like the framing and stuff like that.
That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Words skip my mind.
Framing. Not to be confused with phrasing.
Another good word. But yeah, I also like to look at the every movie I go to. I try to give it its own fair shots. They give us a world where there's magic, whatever. I try to just focus on that and try to compare
the suspension of disbelief,
exactly,
or belief. I mean,
exactly. And I just I go off the rules that movie gives me. And if they start breaking their rules, I start pointing out flaws.
Yeah, sorry, cinema sins or CineSins. We're not gonna follow your real life. It applies to everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because that's true. No movies would really be even documentaries. Sort of.
Well, let's not forget that also we understand that movies are made to entertain us. Like you go to enjoy about 2 to 3 hours of entertainment.
Exactly.
And we understand that, and like we're not nitpicking or we're not like trashing that idea, because we've seen a lot of movies and we walk out saying I was entertained. Like I enjoyed it and it was good.
Yeah, even if the movie kind of sucked at times or had things I didn't like, I was entertained.
Exactly.
Yep.
So moving on, let's talk about round 1, The Jungle Book.
Ding, ding, ding.
The Jungle Book. So what I heard about this movie from everyone else, before even seeing it, I didn't watch the trailer. Did you guys watch the trailer? That's something we should probably bring up.
We did.
You guys watched the trailer. I did not. I just heard it was a Jungle Book remake, and I was like, okay. And so I went in with really, I don't know. I went in with low expectations, to be honest.
Yeah,
pretty low.
I get you.
Did you get? What was your guys' expectations?
For me, I was. The trailer may look really good, and as for me, I'm a trailer lover. Like I love watching trailers and just seeing how epic it looks, the music that they use for the trailer. And to be honest, the trailer may look epic, and it made me excited to go see it. That's how I felt with the trailer.
Okay.
Of course, got to give trailers a grain of salt because as we all know, the Phantom Menace's trailer looked pretty good, but there were. Yeah.
It was a decent Star Wars movie. Yeah.
Another film.
Another story for another day.
Yeah. Another story for another time.
Okay.
So,
but when I first saw it, I was just the original teaser trailer one was just Ka talking. It intrigued me.
And ScarJo played Ka.
Plays Ka.
She gets to play a snake. Just as I'll stop there.
But I don't know. I found it very intriguing, and it did draw my attention, and so it made me look a lot more. Made me look forward to what was going to come.
Yeah. So I went in with low expectations. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna go see the Jungle Book. We'll kick it off good." And overall, like overall impression, I was surprised. I was really surprised. That was my overall impression. Like, I did not think it was going to be that enjoyable. Like, it was pretty good to me. Whatever. We already gave a spoiler warning. Everyone knows the story of the Jungle Book from the classic, old school one.
Yep.
And it was funny because I was talking to my parents about that. And my mom and dad said they both hated the classic one, and they saw it as
Oh,
kids.
really?
And they thought it was stupid. So
Fair, it is kind of a slow story.
yeah, and I saw an honest trailer for the original Jungle Book, and it talked about how all the animals just pawned off Mowgli to another animal every single time.
That's true.
And it is really true. This movie, spoiler alert, did not have that. It didn't feel like that. It felt like a story that was decently constructed.
Yes.
And overall, I was really impressed with it. I don't buy many movies unless I feel they were extremely good, or they have replay value, or both, obviously. But the Jungle Book, it's a movie that I would purchase
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I would buy that every year when I go home to my family back in Iowa. I bring back a couple movies that I've seen throughout the year, and I watch it with them, because my parents, they don't go to the movies. They just don't. And like, they wait for things to come out on DVD or Blu-ray or not VHS. They've gotten out of that, I think. I hope. So the Jungle Book remake, that is something that I would bring back and watch with my parents. I would buy that, and I would watch that with them.
Okay.
What were your guys' overall general impressions of it?
For me, I believe my overall thinking when I saw it was, again, I was also surprised with it, and I'm always a fan when the trailer says, and introducing this new actor, and obviously the kid who played Mowgli, he's so young that obviously this would be his first film he was done.
He was very young and did a very excellent job.
No, he did amazing, and that's why I'm always intrigued when it says introducing this actor to this movie, and I've always thought that was interesting. And Mowgli, the kid who played Mowgli, nailed it. He just flat out nailed it, and he impressed me. And let's not forget that since he was working CGI, he had to interact with a lot of green screen.
Yeah, that's true.
A kid that age, we just with the green screen and following a ball like a tennis ball and everything, he nailed it. Like I was really impressed with his acting and how he approached like the animals and his emotions that he had. There was a lot of emotion play in this. Like, the kid had anger, the kid had sadness, anxiety. He nailed them all. And the actors that they got to voice the animals also was really good. And that's also one thing I look for when I watch movies. And it was enjoyable from start to finish. It pulled your heartstrings, of course, in a few scenes, but then other scenes you're just like, oh man, it was just all around entertaining for me, and I quite frankly enjoyed it. And it is also a DVD that I would also believe in purchasing and watching because it had so much replay value.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Cam?
Well, first of all, to give Mowgli some credit, his name is Neil Sethi, Sethi, and he did a great job interacting with CGI characters. Which is always difficult trying to make that interaction seem seamless because he's, to be frank, just standing there talking to nobody else.
And I think that's hard, like, as an adult.
Oh yeah, 100%. Just sitting there. Oh hi, trying to make that genuine.
Yeah.
So give him credit. He did a great job with that. I also liked how this version of Jungle Book made the characters more relatable, seeing as, like, talking about the original Jungle Book, the Disney Jungle Book in
19 whatever,
60 something. Mowgli raised by the wolves. Bagheera said, "Nope, he's got to leave," and the wolves go, "Okay," and we never hear from him again. And like, they raised the kid for 10 years, and they're just gonna go, "Okay, bye." But in the new one, they actually incorporate the family, or the wolf family, a lot more. And I really enjoyed that. It makes it seem, for lack of a better word, more realistic.
Okay.
And
yeah.
But I just liked, I don't know. It was a bit darker than the original one, but
yeah,
I kind of enjoyed the darker feel of it.
I did too. And I don't want to say it was so dark it's like shouldn't be a kids movie. Yeah. But it was a little bit darker. And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm cool with dark things, to be honest. Like, I play Cards Against Humanity a ton. I got an Edward Garay book. I mean, I'm okay with that. So, so we're talking about like the characters and like relatable. Let's talk about a little bit about the casting.
Okay.
Do you feel like the casting was done really well? I thought the casting was excellent. and like every person was cast extremely well. My favorite was Bagheera, and that was Ben Kingsley, if I remember right.
Ben Kingsley.
And I thought that was the coolest. Like, his voice it fat really well. It flowed. It made the story move forward.
Exactly.
Just because of the way he was cast. That's what I feel. And Baloo as Bill Murray was good. I was, when I first started speaking, I'm like, is that Bill Murray? And at first I was like, oh, this is going to be weird. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate Bill Murray at all. I think he's super cool.
Love Bill Murray.
He's amazing. I just didn't know where it was going to go.
Exactly.
And so I was a bit skeptical for that reason. And then ScarJo as Khan. I'm Ka, not Shere Khan, sorry. As Ka, I'm not a ScarJo fan, as I've stated earlier. I won't beat the dead horse. So, but what were your guys' thoughts on Ka? I still thought it was a good job, like the effects they did with her voice to make her hypnotic.
Exactly. No, and if I have to say anything about ScarJo on her voice with as Ka, I would say, she had that one scene to intrigue Mowgli and hypnotize him and everything, and I thought, I could believe it. I can believe her voice playing it because they had the special effects. They added the snake effect. They added the slither kind of effect to it, and it was believable. I don't know what kind of voice, because as we all remember, the original was a man's voice for Ka,
Well,
and so
Yeah. Was it Jim Cummings?
who played Ka?
Yeah. The same guy who does Winnie the Pooh right now.
I believe so.
Cam will look that up while Merlin continues talking.
I was just saying, and I just thought it was a twist. And that's one thing I do like how people change it up. And that was definitely one of the things with Ka's voice with Scarlett Johansson was different.
Ka's voice was originally done by Sterling Holloway.
Okay,
so it wasn't Jim Cummings. It was Sterling Holloway.
Sterling Holloway.
Very similar voices.
Both did good jobs on too.
Both, yeah. So,
if there was one casting that I don't know, it kind of stuck out because I don't know.
It just does.
Yeah,
there's no other way to describe it, which happens in every movie with this person.
It would be Christopher Walken as King Louie.
That was unique.
Yes. It was.
And
to give him credit, he did a good job with the lines, but you don't see him. You don't see King Louie sitting there. You see a CGI Christopher Walken sitting there and talking to Mowgli because it's. I love the guy as an actor. He's great. He's hilarious. But you can't really separate the character from the actor as well as you should.
Yeah, it's kind of like with George Clooney.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's George Clooney being George Clooney in every movie, which I'm totally cool with because I love George Clooney.
Yeah.
I mean, I just do. Fantastic Mr. Fox is my favorite movie. And I don't look at Mr. Fox as Mr. Fox. I look at him as George Clooney.
As George Clooney.
Fox. and so it's like, it was like that with King Louie. And I still enjoyed it. It was just really unique and different.
I gotta say, really enjoyed it when he started singing "I Want to Be Like You."
Yeah, and there was a musical number, which, spoiler alert, I guess, did have a third verse.
Yeah. That caught me off guard. I'd never heard the third verse before.
Yeah. So it was cool though. Like I enjoyed that. So let's talk about, we spoke fairly positive of this movie. Let's talk about the negatives. If you guys could think of one negative with the movie, and I think we're all thinking the same thing, what would it be?
No.
I'm thinking the CGI. Is that what you guys felt?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like it was good, but it felt displacing.
Yes, mostly due to the size factor, seeing as Mowgli is a small child.
Agreed.
He's maybe, like, what, you say, 8, 10?
Yeah.
Something like that. He's a little kid, but every single animal in this movie is gigantic in comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, like, Baloo, the sun bear, he's, supposed to be like 5 foot tall. Compared to Mowgli, he's like 13 feet tall.
Yeah. I was thinking about 8 to 10.
They're just gigantic animals in comparison.
Huge.
I mean, it does go leading to the story factor, though. It does go well making Mowgli seem like a smaller character in this gigantic, intimidating world.
Correct.
So, to give it that credit, but it does make it a little bit odd.
Well, I feel like with the also with the elephants, every time the elephants appeared, you would think it's like the T-Rex in Jurassic Park because they were just so huge. Which, granted, obviously elephants are big animals, but if you watch this movie,
They're not 30 feet tall.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and you watch this movie, there's a scene where they're going through the forest, and Bagheera and Mowgli are kneeling. And you look at the elephants walking by, and they look like they're all giants. Like they're like a giant's pet or something. You're like, okay, an elephant's big, I get it, but they're not that big.
Yeah, exactly. So the CGI was quite displacing, and maybe that's what they were going for, to make the animals bigger.
Exactly,
like what Merlin said. I felt like it didn't not pan well. It didn't fit and stuff. It wasn't like flattened enough. Like they stuck out too much.
I gotcha. Okay,
is kind of what I was going for. It was good, and the CGI has jumped a long ways, but it was displacing at times.
Especially considering this, the size comparison. Just one that poked out in my mind was King Louie.
Yes,
like filling the entire room. His just gigantic.
King Louie is huge in this.
And
by the way,
I don't think orangutans are supposed to be that big.
True. Yeah.
And we understand that it is a movie. It is different. I was not expecting him to be like, like he's like King Kong huge.
No, yeah, that's true.
I would say he's probably about half the size of King Kong.
Yeah, I mean,
was it still pretty big?
Yeah, he's bigger than Baloo. He's bigger than Shere Khan. He's bigger than all the other large characters. And just like, what the heck is going on with him?
Well, it's just like what Cam said. He filled up the whole temple.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's, it's like, let's be honest. To fill up a whole temple, you have to be pretty big.
Big dude. So, Jungle Book. Good movie. Let's go around. So is it like the best movie that we've seen this summer? Or your favorite? I'm saying no on both accounts. And this is just so far from what we've seen.
We've only seen four so far.
Four movies. So I'm saying no, and it is not my favorite currently. Cam, what about you?
I agree. I said no and not currently, but I don't know, give it maybe a 7 out of 10.
It was rather good.
It was good.
No, it was. And like I would also say no. And not currently as well, because but again, for me, I would give it like also like a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do a star rating.
No,
but I said I would buy it and I would watch it. I would buy it on Blu-ray and I would watch it with my parents and watch it over again.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's move on to Zootopia. Zootopia. So I was, for some reason, I thought Zootopia was going to be The Secret Life of Pets, which is coming out. And so I got the two of those mixed up. And yeah, so I also obviously didn't watch the trailer for Zootopia. I just heard it was good, but I didn't know how good it was going to be. So trailer impressions. What do you guys think? Or what did you think? And Merlin, you've seen this movie how many times, by the way?
I've seen this movie 3 times.
3 times.
Just goes to show you.
No,
what he thinks of it.
Well, when I first originally saw the trailer, it's funny because when I saw the trailer, Cam and I were like in the theater, and when we saw the trailer first time,
Was it just a teaser trailer?
yeah, it was just
showing the animals.
Yeah, it was just like the fox on screen, and all of a sudden this rabbit.
I did see that, but I didn't connect that to Zootopia. For some reason, Secret Life of Pets. I don't know why.
No,
CGI
animals.
CGI animals.
Exactly.
It's
no,
the Jungle Book.
And that's how it was when that's when I saw the first teaser trailer. It was a fox on screen and a rabbit, and like the fox and the rabbit were kind of just like running around. I'm like, well, is that supposed to, I'm like, what are they going with this? But like,
I do remember seeing this.
And I'm just like, well,
No.
I thought it was just gonna be like a random kids movie, you know how children's movies are and everything, but the trailer didn't make me impressed. I wasn't sold, or I wasn't like, oh, I want to go see that. When I saw originally, my first thought was, that's a cute date movie. In my honest opinion, I would say that's a good date movie.
That's a good assessment.
And that's why I just saw the trailer when I saw it first.
I mean, when I saw it, I was kind of like, wait, Disney's going to do this now? I mean, and honestly, it kind of reminded me a lot of an updated version of Disney's Robin Hood.
Oh, I never thought about that. That's a good observation.
Yeah, I mean, just cartoon animals running around doing their own thing and living their own, I don't know, a human-ish life.
And the sheriff's taking all the money for King John. And...
I like that movie.
Hey, the fox was the star of the show too.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
Like,
so, I see your point. So, Trailer impressions. Okay, I remember the trailer now, and I didn't remember it enough at this time right now to have it stick.
It must not have been impressionable.
So it wasn't that impressionable for me, surprisingly. So when we first went in, it was first a little bit of backstory. We saw it on my birthday, April 26th. Yeah, it was fun. And Casey Walker joined us. Casey currently did not join us for these episodes because he is in New Orleans for the summer, partying it up there. And so we went out, just the staff of the MCS1 show, minus Caleb Hennon. Sorry, Caleb.
Next time.
And we went out to eat, and then we went to Zootopia. And so when we walk into this theater, it was fairly sparse. It was a couple families, some tweens on a date, and then like maybe a teenage couple. I think there might have been an adult couple. And then like families, and then us, and we're sitting fairly close. We're not sitting like in the up front section. We're sitting right next to where the bar is,
the
up
wheelchair
front.
bar.
Yeah, the wheelchair bar, and everyone's resting their feet on it. And so it looked funny because there's all these like happy family friendly things, and
various
young
ages,
adults, and then bunch of grown men, mid-20s to early 30s, in there.
Going to see a
Disney movie.
A
rated
cartoon
PG,
Disney movie.
that looks like it's been targeted for kids. But, overall, no one laughed harder than we did.
Yep.
We did.
At more jokes.
The four of us were like the loudest laughers.
We
in
were
that whole
laughing so
movie.
hard, and we were getting dirty looks from people. Like, I don't think they got it, or they did, and they were upset at us for getting it and setting a bad example for their children. Which, we'll get into a lot of that stuff later. So, first impressions with the movie. I want to talk about this. So, when it first opened up, the first 5 minutes really set the stage for this movie.
Yes.
And spoiler alert, I'm going to explain what happened. Sorry, people. I think it might even be in the trailers, possibly. But it talked about...
Just go see the movie.
Just see
very, very good.
movie. We're just talking about the first 5 minutes here. So, the bunny, there's a little bunny there. And what is her name?
Judy Hopps.
There's Judy Hopps.
Judy Hopps. And so she's doing like a play. A little kid's play.
A children's play.
A children's play at a school. And talking about a long time ago, there was predator and prey. Pretty self-explanatory, but now time went on, they're civilized, blah, blah, blah. And so it shows a predator attacking her or killing her. And then like she falls on the ground and she's just a little bunny. And then all of a sudden she starts, like from her stomach, she's got some streamers next to her, red streamers. And she starts throwing them up as this like lion type animal is attacking her. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is a little dark, but really funny. And so I'm holding my tongue like, okay, this is a little too much for a PG movie. Is what I was thinking. Just my standards of ratings. And I mean, it's just barely on the line kind of thing.
Nonetheless, it made us laugh, though.
It did make it. I was holding my tongue a little bit, but then I busted up laughing because the next thing she did was she reached over and she grabbed a ketchup bottle. It's the kind that you see at like old restaurants, those red kinds.
It's the red bottle.
And she just starts squirting it like it's blood.
Some geyser shoots up out of her chest. Blood.
And I just start laughing. I lose it. Casey loses it. Merlin and Cam
I
lost it.
It was great.
And everyone around us is like, whoa. and so we really enjoyed it. And so and it really set the tone. And then it talked about how, was it Jamie? I can't remember the character's name, the little bunny.
Judy.
Judy wanted to be a police officer who that's a bunny, and there's never been a bunny cop.
They're little, tiny, and cute versus large animals that can be
Correct.
physically threatening.
And so she wants to fulfill her dream of that, and her parents tell her it's best to settle, kind of thing. And her dad goes, your mom's, honey, didn't you settle? Says to the mom, she goes, oh yeah, I settled hard. And it's like, whoa.
This movie got real fast.
Yeah, it got real fast. And that set the tone for the whole thing. It was that funny the whole time. It was just great.
I'd say it wouldn't go like at least 30 seconds without cracking a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was really well done. So my overall impression is I loved it. Could not stop laughing. Lots of good jokes, and we'll get into more specifics of that later. Merlin obviously likes it because he saw it 3 times.
I saw it 3 times.
Yeah, this was his 3rd time seeing it, and Merlin was still laughing hard. And Cameron,
I adored it.
Cameron adored it. I'll talk about my overall, like, you guys give your stars rating, and I'll talk about if I'll actually purchase it or not. So, then,
Story-wise?
yeah, let's talk about the story. Did you guys feel like it flowed really well?
I did.
I felt like it flowed really well too.
I think the movie was all well-rounded, well-made, and like we established, it just got real so fast in that movie, and because you see that scene, and she has this goal, and I love how she just has this positive, upbeat attitude, even though her parents are like, "There's never been a bunny cop, you shouldn't do it."
In quite a negative world.
Exactly.
Very.
And I was also following scene where she gets picked on by a fox, a predator, and scares her. Like, he scratches her and everything. You would think that would make her stop, but she doesn't. She gets right back up, and then does this jump scene where she's at the police academy, and she accomplishes her dream, and she becomes a cop.
Montage!
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then the movie picks up with her and what happens next, and we won't go into that. We won't spoil that.
Exactly.
But
This movie did a nice job setting its pace.
Yeah.
It starts out little, it gives us an explanation of the world, gives a character and their goal. They achieve it, and they go on what's going to happen next.
yeah.
Which I appreciate because, you don't see that side of stories told too often.
And the exposition for it didn't feel like it was shoved down your throat.
Yep.
Like most movies.
We're going to this place because we need to do this thing.
And this place has this, and this. And so, yeah, it didn't have that. And I felt like the world that they built and created, they did a good job of explaining in the beginning and then adding more as they went on.
Exactly.
And that's why
It's good storytelling.
it was great storytelling.
The writing for it was, I could just say beautiful. Writing, beautiful.
Was very well written, beautifully. Let's talk about the casting.
Yes.
The casting. Everyone's looking at their phone to see who exactly was in it and stuff. My favorite, obviously, was Jason Bateman as Nick Wilde, the fox. I think foxes are cool. That's Fox is my favorite movie. Fox is my spirit animal. I think foxes are awesome. And so, that was my favorite. And I felt he did a really, really good job of that. And that's why I enjoyed that so much. Because the fox was kind of sly. And just, it fit really well. And it's nice to see Jason Bateman playing a bit of a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's done it in Horrible Bosses, but I've never seen that. But I'm so familiar with him being the good guy in Arrested Development that it's kind of nice to see him being a dirtbag a bit. And I'm okay with that. However, I want to say that I feel like Jason Bateman and Jeremy Reiner could be interchangeable in a movie for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just feeling that way. Just random thought. That was my favorite thing with the casting was that. What about you guys? What do you feel about the casting? And
I want to say Jennifer Goodwin, who played Judy Hopps' voice, she did a really good job.
Yeah.
Because Judy is the one who, she, as we know, Jason Bateman plays, the sly guy, the cool cat kind of fox guy.
Yeah.
But whereas Jennifer Goodwin, she's just this like innocent bunny who's trying to do good things, and she keeps getting shot down left and right, and like she has to do happiness. And let's not forget, this isn't like just acting on screen. This is voice acting, where you have to imagine the scenes, you have to picture what's going on, because you're not acting the scene out, you're voiceovering it, and it's different compared to being in front of a screen or being in front of that way. So I think she did a good job expressing her emotions and that. But I believe Chief Bogo, who played the police chief, also
Curtis Elba.
Yeah, his voice for playing the chief just stuck with you. His voice when you heard it. I think he played Shere Khan too in the Jungle Book movie.
Did he?
I believe he did. I would have to go double check and everything.
Cam's checking on that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he played Shere Khan. So
Oh, wow.
I was gonna say he has one of those voices that, hey, I know that guy.
Powerful voice. It's
Very
intimidating.
powerful. And back to the Jungle Book. Shere Khan was voiced very well.
Very
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I would say with Chief Bogo, which again, he played an intimidating tiger, and then he plays like this
Was it
Chief
a
of Police.
bison?
A bull? No, not bull. Probably a bison.
Bison, bull, something like that. Something with horns.
A big, powerful predator
Yeah.
character. And he delivered.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and he delivered on that role. And I believe those two stuck out to me for the voices, for the casting of those.
Okay.
I would agree with Merlin. I liked Judy Hopps' character the best. Just, I don't know. It was kind of satisfying. You know, I'm not going back to classic tropes, but it's satisfying to watch the main character grow and learn, and you grow with them. I don't know. I just felt a good connection with the character just because the way she was written, and she's anybody. She's the average Jane, and you want to see her succeed. And I don't know. It was just a satisfying character that she was able to deliver. Like genuine emotions, genuine everything about it was great.
So let's talk about the overall jokes of the movie. So many jokes. So many references. Let's talk about some things that they referenced. In a kid's movie, and I don't think a lot of people got this, they were referencing Jersey Shore.
Yes.
They referenced Jersey Shore. They referenced The Godfather.
Yes.
And, all right, it's all on the tip of our tongues. I was going to say, they've referenced Breaking Bad.
Which Casey Walker's actually pointing out to me. I've seen it 3 times, and I didn't know it until Casey pointed out to me.
Yeah, and so when they're talking about the Breaking Bad, the reference portion of it, I'm not going to mention what happened, but I couldn't figure out why they were laughing so hard. And then I thought in my head, I was like, what's so funny about this? And then I made the connection. Because Casey about fell out of his chair from laughing so hard.
I was dying.
Yeah,
Cameron, too.
These two were just dying over it.
And I was laughing because they were laughing. And then Merlin was laughing because I was laughing.
They did kind of a 2-part reference. It was a visual reference at the beginning, and then a
name
verbal.
Yeah,
drop.
verbal.
And once the name drop hit.
And I was just dying at that point.
Yeah, and once they said the name drop, I'm like, what's so funny about it? And I replayed the names in my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's genius. And I could not stop laughing. So that was the best. And then another thing they did was Disney ripped off its own movies. There's a section where it shows someone's
characters selling bootleg DVDs.
The bootleg DVDs, and it shows them like the animal versions of like Frozen.
There's like Frozen 2, and then there's like
Frozen, Big Hero 6, Tangled, all these other,
but made into animals.
Yeah, I mean it's fitting because it's that studio.
Yeah,
that same studio that made
and that world
Zootopia, made all these other movies
as well. So it helped. It joked on its own world, and that was good.
That was.
And okay, so I enjoyed the writing. It was amazing. Let's talk about the negatives of it. Or do you guys feel there were no negatives?
Well, before we go into that, can I just mention one of the more subtle jokes?
Sure. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. I don't know if you guys actually caught it.
Probably not.
So, there's a scene where the main character Judy is writing Nick a ticket. And she's adding up all these numbers in her head, and she pops out this gigantic number that he's going to have to owe unless he helps her out. And she says, bunnies may be little and cute, but but there's one thing that we're good at, and that's multiplying.
Oh,
yes.
Lots of animal jokes.
Lots of animal jokes.
I don't think I caught that.
And it was just a subtle, like, did Disney just drop that kind of a joke?
And that kind of brings me into, I guess this would be considered the negative, or what I consider the negative of it, or the positive, depending on how you look at it. It didn't feel like a Disney movie.
No.
Which I was totally cool with.
No, yeah.
It felt like a Warner Brothers movie.
Yeah.
No, and that's actually I went the second time I saw it. The first time I was on a date. The second time was
as a cute date movie.
Yeah, as a cute date movie. And the second time I saw it was for my sister's birthday, actually. So we went and saw it as a family. And I told everyone, I'm like, how'd you guys like that Disney movie? And for my mom and my dad were just like, that wasn't Disney. It wasn't DreamWorks. And my sister swore up and down that it was DreamWorks.
Whoa.
And then like my mom was saying, I thought Warner Brothers did. I'm like, nope. It was Disney. And the only reason I remembered it was Disney was because Shakira, if you watch Shakira's music video is on Disney Channel. So that's the only reason I knew it was Disney. But yeah.
Okay. What about you, Cam? Do you have any thoughts on?
I would say it followed a lot of the classic cop movie tropes.
Okay.
the newbie shows up. The chief doesn't like them. They get set with a bad job. And they're kind of miserable. And they're given one shot to prove themselves. And it's kind of going along, the standard cop movie tropes.
Kind of a cop buddy film kind of movie.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think they were able to pace out the tropes enough with enough humor tossed in there that it made it tolerable.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed it, like, overall. Let's talk about our ratings now. I'll let you guys go first. With your stars.
I mean, Star-wise, I would have to give it 4 stars. I loved it. I mean, those.
Wait, are we doing? Okay, Cam,
are we doing stars or numbers?
I was just
I can't remember what was it.
We did numbers. Yeah, we did the out of 10.
Okay, so let's do this. Merlin gives stars.
You want me to do the stars?
Cam does out of 10. My rating is if I'm gonna buy it or not.
There you go. I like that.
50, I got 10. He's 4.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, no, I like it. And for me, I would definitely, like I said, I would give it 4 stars. There was a reason I saw it 3 times. I enjoyed it all 3 times, and I just love the movie. It has like this really emotional scene near the ending between Judy and Nick, and it was just one of those scenes where you love how it just touched you, and then at the same time, I love the action, the comedy. The comedy was a huge thing for me in this movie because it's a kids movie, and it just stuck with me. And like they have the Shakira's song in it, and that sticks in your head. And all around, I loved it. And quite frankly, if I had to say so far, out of the 4 movies we've seen so far, it is probably my favorite so far.
So for me, given all the different factors of this movie, there's one that we haven't really talked about, which really sells it for me, is the animation quality of this movie.
True.
Yes.
True.
So the animation in this movie is absolutely beautiful. I mean, there is so much going on. Like, Judy Hopps, I think I remember reading it, she has like 1.5 million individual hairs on her.
Wow.
Which is like the number of hairs that Elsa had on her head, and they're all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They had to like make a new program to
Render all that.
Just because it had so much detail going in, and not only that, but just like the little even in the back, like the backgrounds of this movie were beautiful. And in the city there's multiple different ecosystems, and they're able to just work with different elements. There's rain, there's snow, there's a desert, and every single one of those aspects was flawless. Even to the little points where they're like there's a vine that's hanging down, they're swinging on it, and when they let go of the vine continues forward, and it's raining, so the vine's got water on it, and when it flips up, you see water like getting flipped up off of this vine, and it's like the little details in the background just made it great. So I would give it a full 10 out of 10.
Wow. 10 out of 10.
4 stars and 10 out of 10.
Maybe 9.8 given the cop movie tropes, but still.
Well, they did well with the cop movie trope.
They did.
But still, great movie. Absolutely, I would agree with Merlin. Is my favorite of the 4 movies we've seen so far.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. What about you, Merlin? Is it your favorite out of the 4 we've seen?
No, it is. Yeah,
it is. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna spoil like next week when we're the next episode when we're talking about Keanu and
Civil War.
Civil War. And
Fun fact: that's what we're talking about next week.
Yeah, next time. Yeah, and so to me now, I want to say I would buy it. I would buy it. And this movie, I told my mom about, and I said I was really excited to show her when I go home for the holidays to show her this movie. I go, it's not. It's different from Fantastic Mr. Fox, but it's a movie that I think my mom will like, and I'll probably leave her the DVD copy.
Oh, okay.
Which I occasionally do with some movies I bring home. I'll buy the 3-pack. I actually, Merlin side story, one of the movies we saw in 2014 was Jersey Boys.
Yes.
One of my favorite, oddly enough.
One of the best ones, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a gangster movie. And it was awesome. I actually left her the DVD copy of it, and because she grew up in that era and she really liked it. And so, but back to Zootopia, I would buy it. I'm excited for it. It's already on to come out. I already have it on my Amazon wish list.
Oh,
I'm gonna snag it probably right when it comes out. And yeah, I'm happy that I saw it. I'm glad it was like a good birthday movie to see. So that is all that we have today for At the Movies.
At the Movies.
At the Movies.
And, next time we'll be reviewing Keanu and
Captain America.
Captain America Civil War. So, yeah. Peace out.
Bye.